Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leo Mookie here, and all I want to say is thanks, guys. Thank you all for the support that you've brought to this channel, even though I wasn't really, caring if it got a lot of support or not after all. But even so, a thank you is truly required for all of you. And for that, thank you for helping me reach 2,000 subscribers. It ain't really much, but I still appreciate it all the same. Any rate, this is my 2,000 subscriber special, what fanfic for you guys. And this is something that I feel I've been wanting to do for a while now, but I wanted to basically make it special after all. A crossover between that of High School DxD and My Hero Academia. And you guys voted for this, so just let you know, this story is not going to be exactly on how people think it's going to be after all, just because of what it is, just because of the concept alone. This is My DxD Academia, the first of many High School DxD / My Hero Academia fanfic stories I'm going to be doing on this channel for this year. So look forward to that, guys. Also, before I go into this story as well, I'm going to make this 100% clear. Originally for this, subscriber special, it was going to be that of me transporting Izuku, Bakugo, and Shoto to the world of High School DxD after the events of the paranormal war after all. Unfortunately, I kind of realized that if I did transport these three to that of High School DxD, they basically be hunted down after all. Given the supernatural of High School DxD is like, if they don't understand it or it's too different, their first reaction is kill it with fire, and then kill it again. So having my three boys basically on the run constantly before being seen as no longer a threat is something I don't want to do for a story. So yeah. So I decided on several other stories I would do instead. However, you guys chose one that you feel like would be more interesting, and also you all chose this story because you wanted me to replace Issei. I am 100% aware of that bullshit. Sorry to burst your bubble. When I chose this story, and when I told you guys that Izuku would replace Issei in Rias' peerage, I never said I was going to remove Issei from the story as a whole. I think you all forgotten that I am an Issei basher. I enjoy basically making fun of and making Issei's life a living hell, and enjoy making him look like the dumbass that he is. So yeah. Just because Issei won't be in Rias' peerage doesn't mean he's not going to be in this story. Just letting you guys know this now. Also, I'm telling you guys this now, there are no quirks in this story either. It's mainly taking place within the world of High School DxD, just with characters from My Hero Academia included in this story as well. So I'm letting you guys know this now. At any rate, with all that said, let's get into this. Shall we, guys? Also, heads up, if my voice sounds a little bit off or deep or, strained, it's mainly because I'm recovering from that of a cold right now. So, yeah. I'm sorry, but I want to get this out as soon as possible. At any rate, with enough said, let's get into this. Chapter 0, The White Dragon Emperor. The town of Kuo, a small city town on the outskirts of Tokyo, mainly near the countryside and also, surprisingly, pretty close to that of the sea as well. But even so, it's a prestigious town, mainly people who want to settle down, start a family, and also just want to and mainly retire always come to this small city. But the reason why it's mainly prestigious is because of one school that's iconic all across Japan, that being Kuo Academy, a prestigious academy which that had a elevation system school, as Kuo is basically has that of an elementary school to junior high and to high school all the way to college, allowing students to basically stay at the school as long as they wish without any inconveniences of having to move to that of a different school. After all, however, unfortunately, even though the school is quite prestigious, the downside is that it was once an all-girls school. Emphasis on once. At least that of 3 years ago, it became that of a co-ed school, actually, allowing that of male students into the school now, which, unfortunately, even though Kuo Academy may be a prestigious school that allows anybody to succeed in life in Japan, turns out many of the male students that came to Kuo only came to Kuo because of the main majority of the student body is still composed of girls. And such, Kuo Academy only attracted perverts. Many males that came to the school only came to the school because they believe that it'd be easier to get laid due to naive girls that haven't been around any males, or it's easy to ogle at girls without being attacked or anything like that, or it'd be easier to get a girlfriend that way as well. Fortunately for many of the perverts at the school, all their dreams were basically shut down. To make the female students still feel safe while the perverts are there, they created that of the student council created that of a secondary council called the Discipline Committee, which is mainly composed of female students. No, there are no male students whatsoever. The Discipline Committee can basically act any way they please onto male students that are basically harassing or basically being too perverted to that of the female body of the student of the school, after all. So they can't expel the male students, but they can discipline them if need be. And this is all legal as well. Because of this, a lot of male students were on basically a tight leash. And since many of them only came to the school to be perverts or to get an easy lay, let's just say a lot of male students decide to leave Kuo. But however, even though many of the males came to the school just for their own lust and perversion, there are a few male students that did come to the school for a proper and good education. Such goes for one young boy who's just beginning his first year at the somewhat former prestigious school academy, this being a young boy by the name of Izuku Midoriya. The current day is April 2nd, 2020. Currently at Kuo Academy, the day goes on just as any other day at the prestigious co-ed school now, with many female students heading into class alongside that of their male students as well, which walking to the school as well is that of a young boy wearing that of the male student uniform of Kuo Academy. However, instead of having that of a regular black tie, he has that of a clip-on tie. Given that this young boy really sucks at tying ties, as he has messy dark green hair, like emerald green eyes, diamond-shaped freckles on his cheeks, and a little bit of a bland baby face, actually. But still going to school with that of a smile on his face, though. This is the hero of our story, Izuku Midoriya, as it being another day at Kuo Academy. It's been a month since he came to the school, and let's just say his time at the school has been quite eventful, to be honest. For example, on his first day to Kuo Academy, he was basically stripped by a cavity search by that of the discipline committee. Turns out many of the boys from that of the many boys had to go through that of multiple cavity searches in case that they bring in that of illegal contraband to the school. They don't do it to that of the female students, realizing that they have no reason to do so, or as they like to say, even though there are several female students that bring in quite a bit of other illegal stuff that goes against that of the school rules. However, but again, the discipline committee was mainly made for the male students, though. So yeah, let's just say when he was thoroughly searched, he kind of hated the fact that the school didn't trust somebody like him, as he didn't really come to the school for anything perverted, as many people from his junior high school basically decided not. Many male students that actually did go to his old junior high school, being Aldera Junior High here in Kuo, came to Kuo Academy for that too. But for him, he came to Kuo Academy due to that of a scholarship, actually. The scholarship mainly ranged from that of his well-respected writing skills. He's basically multilingual, and he's also well-known and well-respected for his scientific theories, to be honest. Some say that they be crackpots or just imaginations of that of a 14-year-old, now 15, but to Kuo Academy, they saw Izuku as quite a bit of an investment, especially with that of his high IQ, that he would be they couldn't pass up somebody like him, especially that lived in the exact same city as Kuo Academy, to pass up. So, and not only that, seeing that it would also help out his mom as well, since all of his expenses to Kuo through that of the scholarship would be paid for. She didn't need to worry at all. They didn't need to worry at all, which is perfect. But now knowing what he has to go through to be in this school, and to and find out that he won't have that of a safe, close mind, and also being mistrusted, let's just say it's kind of annoying. Since then, turns out many of the female students don't trust many male students in the school. There are some male students that are well respected, while some are, despised quite a bit. Especially 3 students from that are basically his seniors, second years, 1 year higher than him. They being the perverted trio, a group of students who basically take their time out of their day to continue to basically peep on many of the girls in the changing rooms, while also, talking about how hot many girls are at Kuo as well, with no self-restraint or any signs of self-respect whatsoever, mainly just to satisfy their own, lust curiosities after all. And they have been beaten, brutalized, and punished by the discipline committee so many times that you would think that they would stop. Unfortunately, that just makes them even more determined to do what they can do after all, which for Izuku, on the other hand, sees as quite sad and annoying that this school is a prestigious school to help those elevate through that of education. After all, why waste it just for stuff like this, to be honest? With then soon Izuku sighing that he has to go through that of another search, within seeing that of a girl with that of brunette hair and a bob cut style, with that of 2 bangs on the side of her face going down, as she wears the Kuo Academy uniform that shows quite a bit of her curves after all, as she has that of a eternal blush on her cheeks, with that, as she has that of a smile saying, Hey there, Izuku. As this is a girl that he's been friends with since childhood, this being Ochako Uraraka, with Izuku smiling saying, "Hey, Ochako," with as she basically pats him down, with Izuku blushing quite a bit. As the years went on, Izuku becomes quite nervous around that of women, to be honest. And his face basically becomes that of a almost red like a tomato. And given his hair, it kind of fits all too well. Alright, you're good to go. Saying thanks. After that, Izuku heads back into the school, with Ochako basically smiling at Izuku. With then, soon a girl with that of long black hair that goes all the way down to that of her, all the way down to her butt anyway, with that of square frame glasses, as she has quite the curvaceous figure, which is more curvier than that of Ochako's, filling out that of the female student uniform even more, saying, "Uraraka, we still have more searches to do," saying, "Oh, right, sorry, Vice President." As this girl being Vice President Tsubaki Shinra of the Student Council and leader of the Discipline Committee. As she looks back at Izuku, as then a gleam begins to go over that of her glasses. As the day goes on, Izuku basically has that of multiple classes, basically anything that you would see in typical high school after all. However, given that this is Kuo, classes are a lot more harder, as they're almost on the same level as college level, to be honest. But wanting their students to succeed and pass through their limits, this is what Kuo Academy does after all. As for Izuku, he doesn't really have, besides Ochako, he doesn't really have that many friends, to be honest, in Kuo. Many of the friends that he did have at Aldera basically went to that of the other prep school here in Kuo, called Mezuki High School, which if Kuo never went that of co-ed, many of the students here would have gone to that high school instead. Hell, even Izuku as well. Part of him is happy about that, but the other part of him not so much. As even though he's been at the school for a month, he can't help that besides his nervousness around that of girls, it almost seems like many girls don't even like him, just for being at the school alone as well. Heck, he even found out that many of the clubs at the schools still only allow that of female students. There are some clubs that allow male students, but no athletic clubs allowed though. Any passive clubs, such as like that of the anime, computer, cooking, drama, literature, and photography clubs basically allow male students. But when it comes to athletic clubs, such as that of the basketball, tennis, football, swimming, kendo, especially kendo, and track, alongside basketball, won't allow any male students. Possibly because of the locker room fiasco. Turns out before Izuku even came to Kuo, the Variety Trio, during their first year, caused quite a bit of commotion by peeping into many of the locker rooms for the athletic clubs. So, because of that, they basically made a rule that no male students can basically join any of those clubs. So it basically hindered a lot of students who would have made it to the school through that of, scholarships, basically, especially athletic scholarships, basically suffer, which is truly a shame. Because of them, they basically made it harder for many male students who actually want to succeed and basically have a better life outside of high school, suffer. Because of this, the perverted trio were basically hated among almost everybody, not just the female students or that of the teachers, but also male students as well. And yet, every time when Izuku sees them, it almost seems like they wear that with a badge of honor to be hated so much, which Izuku can never get. to be hated just because of my mere gender or the thing between my legs makes Izuku feel even more nervous, to be honest. Currently, right now, class originally during that of his literature class, his writing class, they now have that of a class break period, which Izuku uses this time to basically write into his notes on a certain something, to be honest. Then, soon, he begins to hear many of his fellow classmates begin to talk, within them saying, "Did you hear? He struck again last night." Saying, "Wait, seriously? He struck once more?" Saying, "Yeah. I heard that he took down that of multiple thugs. And the best part is, the victims were the could have been victims were that of were the two captains of the Kendo Club's second years, Moriyama and Katase," with then another female student saying, "Seriously? Oh man, I was so glad that senpais were taken care of. Kuo's resident hero strikes again." With then Izuku couldn't help but smile. With then a male student saying, "You guys talking about that of Kuo's late night hero, Deku?" With then so many of the girls couldn't help but have that of a look at disgust, but realized that this is one of the few guys in the school that isn't there to be a pervert. However, they still don't trust him, but they at least allowed him into the conversation. Within the female student one of the female students speak up once again, saying, "Well, you must know if you're going to eavesdrop. Yes, we were talking about Deku." Within one of them also say, "I mean, can you not think about it? I mean, he's amazing, a superhero in Kuo. Ever since he appeared about that 3 years ago, he's been helping out a lot of people here at Kuo. So many crimes have been avoided so much." Within another female student saying, "I hear he also pushed out the Yakuza gang here that was located here in Kuo as well. So that means he's more dangerous than that of the Yakuza." With then the male student saying, "Originally I thought that was ridiculous. However, turns out they were extorting actually my father and our family business about that for years actually. And since he was able to take care of them about that of 2 years ago, I had to thank him. If anything, I always thought that Kuo was always a kind, peaceful, and basically subtle town that wouldn't get involved with anything. But I'm guessing even in places like this, crime can still happen. If the police can't handle it, then at least Kuo's residential hero, Deku, can always protect the innocents." With that, many of the students couldn't help but agree, with Izuku still smiling, within saying, "Deku, huh? He's done so much for Kuo and its people, and all the other civilians as well. If anything, this town needed somebody like him, and I'm glad we do." As he thinks this, soon, his writing class finally comes to that of an end. Within, it's now lunchtime, as Izuku was planning. As instead of going to that of the cafeteria to get a lunch and actually spend time with that of Ochako, he decided to head to that of the school roof for the time being. He wanted to finish up his note taking actually for a special project that he's working on. On the way to that of the roof, so he can get some peace and quiet, he soon noticed that of a young woman basically walking past him. But what catches his eye is that she has that of long crimson red hair, bright baby blue eyes, and quite that of a, curvy and quite voluptuous figure. And just by looking at her, it almost seems that Izuku's quite entranced. Soon, Izuku continued looking at her, but not just him, basically almost every other student in that of the hallway, actually looking at her as well. Within, soon, somebody speaking up saying, I see, even our smartest first year can be tranced by by one of the great ladies of Kuo. Within, soon, Izuku snapping out of it, freaking out, as his face goes red once again, saying, Kirayu senpai, hi. Within saying, aw, so cute as always. You know I'm not gonna bite, saying, well, I mean, I know your reputation, so saying, so you're afraid that I might bite? As she soon basically snaps on that of Izuku. Within, Izuku snapping back with his face going completely nuclear red. As then she having that of a feral grin on her face. Within saying, oh, I'm just messing with you, Midoriya. You're so cute to mess with. I just can't get enough of it. But just like I was saying, couldn't get your eyes off that of the great lady, could you? Within, Izuku scratching the back of his head saying, I mean, can you blame me? Plus, I'm not the only one, so why are you teasing me about it? As he stutters this a little bit. Within, she's saying, just like I said before, because you're adorable to tease over it. As she basically taps onto that of Izuku's nose, making him go red once again. Within, she's saying, anyway, I just wanted to see, originally I was actually heading to the cafeteria, so I'm heading to the roof. I wanted to finish up some notes. As soon, she looks at Izuku's notebook saying, hero notes for the future? Still into superheroes, even after all these years. Izu. Within, Izuku blushing. Within, she's saying, nothing wrong with trying to be a hero, but just to let you know, you're not Deku, remember? Just remember that. Within, after saying that, she goes past Izuku. However, as he has his head down, she basically kisses him on the cheek, making him go freaking nuclear again. As then, she actually saying, it's just too fun messing with him. As Izuku heads to the rooftop, within him basically blushing all the same. However, little did their little interaction was actually being seen by that of the most beautiful girl in Kuo Academy, Rias Grimory. Within, soon, somebody walking up to her saying, so, you have your eye on him as well. I see, Rias. Within, soon, it being that of a girl with that of red framed glasses, amethyst eyes, and that of black hair, and styled into that of a bob cut, but not on the same level as cuteness as that of Ochako's. Then she's saying, oh, hello there, Sona. And I did tell you that I was interested in him. Saying, you said that. However, aren't you also interested in Hayato as well? Saying, I am. But there's something about him. Izuku Midoriya, was it? Something about him is just quite interesting, to say the least. Then, after saying that, soon Sona came up with Sai saying, I told you, you said that you were interested in Hayato. I didn't think that you would be also interested in Midoriya as well. Then she's saying, sorry, Sona, but if you allow, how about this? If I either get Midoriya or Hayato, the other two, Saji and the one that I don't have, you can have yourself. How does that sound? Then, hearing that, soon she couldn't help but sigh, saying, you always get what you want, Rias. Fine. Don't make me regret it, alright? Then, after saying that, soon Sona walks away. As Rias still has her smile, however, she soon takes that of a deep sigh before saying, sooner or later, she is not going to allow me to do whatever I wish all the time. even though we do own this school and this town. With then, soon remembering saying, Izuku Midoriya. Now that I think about it, your name almost sounds like, basically switch it around a little bit and say it in that of kanji. It sounds like that of Deku, useless, or bland doll, just like the name of Deku, this town's little hero who I've been having a hard time trying to catch. With then, she couldn't help but shake her head, saying, doubtful. There's no way in hell those two are quite similar. With then, but still, I still want to see about him after all. If I recall, Konako's in the same class with him, so it shouldn't be too hard to get her to keep an eye on him so easily. I'll just ask Yuki to keep an eye on that of Hayato. Feeling okay with that of her plans, Rias soon heads back to the occult research club room. As the day finally comes to an end, Izuku is heading back home as he continues basically going through that of his hero notebook, with then him bumping into somebody. As soon Izuku stumbles for a bit, but it doesn't fall down. As for the girl, she basically falls onto that of her butt. Within Izuku freaking out saying, "Oh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to." With that, she's saying, "No, it's fine. It's fine." With Izuku getting a good look at her, as he couldn't help but actually be shocked and surprised as she has that of long black hair, purple eyes. However, she's wearing that of a school uniform, but it's not a school uniform that's native to Kuo though. The reason, as there are only two high schools here in Kuo Academy and Mizuko Academy, and Mizuno Academy uniforms are more black with black and light blue. Her uniform is basically all red, which means she's not from she's not from Kuo and trying to pass off as a high schooler by any chance. With then, as Izuku is basically staying on guard for a bit. With then, however, easier said than done when seeing the fact that, looking at her, she has quite the sizable chest, and also the skirt is way too short for her own good that he can actually see her panties. With then basically stepping away while also looking up at the exact same time. With then, soon, she's saying, "No, it's alright, it's alright. If anything, I should have seen where I was going to. Or I should have warned you that you were about to run into me. But also, I'm just glad that I actually got to run into you, since I was actually looking for you." With then, Izuku saying, "Wait, you were looking for me?" As he says this, he couldn't help but be shocked, but a part of him can't help but be a little bit suspicious. With then, she nodding as she has that of a blush on her face. Within, soon, she's saying, "I've seen you around town a little bit, actually. Almost around that of a month or so. But, so I had to know. Tell me, my name is Yuma Amano. Would you please be my boyfriend?" With then, Izuku completely and utterly caught off guard, to the point that he did not expect this. That a girl would confess to him, like even ever. Somebody that's a nervous and basically shy wreck with women, such as Izuku, and being confessed to by a beautiful woman such as her. Never in his wildest dreams he would ever, expect that. However, even though he would be flattered, and he would also want to date her, However, to him, he has to be on guard because, again, there are too many red flags basically coming up in front of him. First of all, she doesn't go to any school here. She's not wearing any school uniform from either Kuo or Mizuki High. He's never seen her around Kuo, and she's interested in him and him alone. She also brought up the fact that she's been interested in him for almost an entire month, which he hasn't really done anything to get anybody's attention. Well, unless you count his heroism, then maybe. Unless, then soon, Izuku saying, I'm flattered, actually. If anything, I'm truly honored that you would want to go on a date with me. But within, Izuku saying, I don't know you like that. And I, as much as I would want to accept, I can't. If possible, maybe we can get to know each other before we could start dating, actually. If that's okay. As Izuku says this, basically turning to the side and looking down, within looking back at her. However, he could feel something coming off of her, almost like that of killing intent. However, as soon as that killing intent basically wafting off of that of the black-haired young woman, soon a spear of light begins to materialize from that of her hands as it being a red spear, as then she soon throws it towards that of Izuku. However, in a split second, without even breaking a sweat, Izuku dodges out of the way, within realizing, thought so. Within, soon, a voice begins to speak, as this voice is quite elegant, while also having that of a bit of maturity and gruffness to the voice as well, saying, Izuku, I could sense it now. She was suppressing her magical power and her essence as well. Now that I can smell it, she's a fallen. With then Izuku narrowing his eyes at his foe that is a fallen angel, with then saying, damn brat, seriously, what gives you the right to turn me down, you worthless human? Not only that, how the hell can a lowly virginless bastard like you basically able to see through my disguise? Somebody like you would be jumping at basically dating somebody as beautiful and amazing as me. With then Izuku narrowing his eyes and having that of a serious determined look on his face, within saying, normally, yeah, I would be a stuttering mess around a girl like you. However, in my line of work, I can't judge a book by its cover after all. Sometimes that cover can look beautiful and amazing and kind-hearted, but deep down they're basically nothing but twisted and self-entitled, such as a fallen angel such as you. And seeing that you're trying to kill me with no provocation whatsoever, I'm guessing you must be a rogue fallen, saying, you know that I'm a fallen? And you think that I'm rogue? Don't make me laugh. I am just following my orders to eliminate threats to Gogori. And seeing that you know that I am one, you truly are a threat to us. As she soon says this, within snapping her fingers, as then soon the sky going from that, as it was about to go from that of a light blue to that of the sunset, to that of the orange sunset, now becomes that of a sinister purple, with the trees going into that of a lightish green, almost sickly, and the air around them feels like that of a light blue tint to it. Within soon, Izuku saying, she put us in a barrier, guessing she doesn't want an audience to what's happening here. With then soon, the voice saying, "Do you wish to transform?" Saying, "No, no, no. If they find out that I'm, well, you know what, they're not gonna, the fallen angels wouldn't bother to continue to go after me after all. You know what my main duty is." Right. I understand, partner. With soon, Yuma goes out of that fake school uniform, as then she basically becomes completely and utterly naked temporarily, as then her new form of clothing looks like something that you would see in ads of a bondage, well, fetish outfit that you would see some women would wear in certain videos after all. With seeing this, Izuku actually couldn't help but basically blush for a bit and have his mouth basically gape open, but then basically snapping out of it as he gets serious. But then soon, black wings begin to erupt around that of around her back as the feathers begin to float down to the ground, as they even shadow over that of Izuku for a bit. However, his determination still stands. Within, she's saying, seriously, humans like, I can't believe that a human like you knows about the supernatural. You look like just a typical, everyday, average, boring boy. So timid and shy. You would be easy to basically just seduce and then kill. What does the fallen angels want with me? I have done nothing to basically antagonize or do anything to you. With then, she's saying, if you know on who we are, then that means you awaken your sacred gear. And that means you're a danger and a threat. With then, she creates that of a light spear. Once again, as the red blades begins to gleam with the tainted light of the holy magic within it, with her saying, but even so, you're still just a mere human. You should be easy to take down. So, but if you're gonna blame me for basically attacking and trying to kill you, don't. It's not my fault. Blame the guy that gave you your sacred gear, whatever it is. As then, she soon throws it, but however, a lot more faster and stronger than before. Within soon. However, Izuku, on the other hand, basically grabs it with just his mere hand, as the young woman was completely and utterly shocked and surprised about this. Within saying, how? How can a mere human grab my light spear? Even just by grabbing it, it would still hurt like hell. Your entire hand should be gone. With soon Izuku saying, normally yes, but there's some things in this world that I've been through as well. Also, I had to ask, tell me, what is your name? With then, she kind of confused. Within soon, she's saying, since you're gonna die anyway, all right, I'll give you my name. The name is Rainer, the fallen angel that's going to end your life, boy. With then, hearing that, Izuku nodding, saying, thank you. I can remember the name when I tell Azazel, asking for questions after all. With then, she having her eyes widening in shock, saying, how the hell do you know Lord Azazel? With then, soon, Izuku basically shaking his head, saying, that's not important. What's important right now is to show you on why I am somebody not to mess with. As he soon destroys the light spear. However, instead of the tainted holy light basically just fading away, it soon begins to be absorbed. Something behind that of Izuku, as it being two glowing large blue wings, energy-like wings coming from his back. With then, soon, Rainer actually utterly dumbfounded in shock, saying, what the hell is that? With then, so I thought it was just a common variety sacred gear. Even for a common variety sacred gear, it was still said to be dangerous. How dangerous? What kind of sacred gear is that? With then, soon, Izuku saying, "Don't worry, I won't kill you. To be honest, I actually hate killing people. I despise it. If I had to kill somebody, that basically makes me no different from than an actual villain. So, I'm going to just beat you with an inch of your life and tell me on why you were trying to come after me. After that, I'm going to be asking Azazel quite a bit of questions as well, because you have the gall to come after somebody that is the current generation's White Dragon Emperor." As then soon, immense magical pressure begins to come off of that of Izuku. With then she's saying, "You're the White Dragon Emperor? The wielder of divine dividing? This can't be happening." Within soon, Izuku kneels down, as then it almost looks the blue-like energy begins to come off of his body, before soon his body begins to glow even more, as even Izuku's eyes went from that of an emerald green close to that of a turquoise blue, but still holding that of his emerald green irises still inside. As then she creates that of another light spear saying, "No, stay away from me, stay away!" As she throws the light spear as strong and as fast as she can. Within, Izuku basically dodges the light spear, as he's moving so fast that the light spear basically shatters on impact from the shot from that of Izuku's speed alone. With then soon, as he's already close to her, he basically cocks back his fist. Within, he begins to scream, "Smash!" as he slams his fist into that of her gut, almost close to that of her solar plexus, actually. Which then she begins to cough up blood. But to make it even more thorough that she stays down, he soon says, "Albion!" As then his wings begin to glow, but then that of the same voice from before inside of Izuku's head basically yells out, "Divide!" While Rainer's body is basically being sent flying, she could feel both her magical power and her physical power basically begin to drain away. With then she's saying, This can't be happening. How is this even possible? How can a freaking 15-year-old beat me?" With then, as she's soon sent flying to the ground, she creates that of a massive crater, as she can barely even move or barely even consciousness, if you think about it. As Izuku is basically flying up into the air with his legs together and his arms to his side as well, as his wings continue to fly high up into the air. However, his dividing, even though his wings were close to that of a light baby blue, there's like that of a tint of green to them as well, if you look closely. With then Izuku looking down at the woman that attempt to try to kill him. Within, Izuku monologuing to himself, saying, "You may be wondering on how somebody like me, Izuku Midoriya, a boy who seems quite plain and average and doesn't really stand out that much, who also enjoys superheroes from that of America and always dreamt of being a hero himself, is actually the current generation's White Dragon Emperor. And how did I find out about the supernatural? Well, let me tell you something. This is the story on how I became the world of the supernatural's greatest Satan. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Like to read this. So, this is basically the beginning chapter. The next couple of chapters will basically be explaining Izuku's on how he awakened dividing before canon started, actually. And then when I told you guys that I plan on doing things completely different from that of actual canon of high school DxD, I really meant that, guys. I mean, seriously, everybody always does it the same as canon. Izuku ends up going on a date with Reiner. He gets killed by her. Rias reincarnates him, so on and so forth. Just some things always stay the same. Some people, while there are some changes here and there with certain characters being removed or some characters being added after all, but it's always the same. So I wanted to do something at least a little bit different. Besides giving Izuku dividing instead of the boosted gear this time, I also wanted him to actually already know about the supernatural, to be honest. Instead of awakening his sacred gear after becoming a devil, to be fair. Honestly, look, there's a reason on why Issei falls in love with Rias, because she saved his life and all that loyalty bullshit. Even though there are tons of theories saying that she basically let Issei die just so she can reincarnate him, which found out that that's not really canon, but it's just mainly a theory. However, it kind of feels canon, to be honest, given her situation early on in the series, but still. Izuku, on the other hand, yeah, he would feel thankful for Rias basically for saving him and reincarnating him, but let's get this straight. When you basically made somebody like Izuku, and especially if I actually decided to give people quirks in this what if, he was still quirkless, it would seem a lot more crueler for Izuku's situation. I mean, think about it. This is the kid who's basically have been bullied, treated like shit, and looked down upon as nothing but trash, just because he didn't have that of a meta ability. And then so his self-esteem would really take that one hell of a nosedive and be a lot more crueler knowing that his freedom is now taken away by Rias. Don't get me wrong, Rias is a good person and caring. And I've seen stories where she actually is okay with Izuku being a hero. But try and see this from a secondary point of view. Try and see this from a guy that has also experienced what bullying is, and then when you see somebody that actually genuinely cares about you and finds out that you're basically tied to them forever and you can't basically leave from them, even if you guys begin to basically drift apart, yeah, that's kind of seemed like hell and slavery and all the way. So yeah, not gonna happen. Well, at least in this, it will happen, but it would be Izuku's choice. Because again, this is Izuku we're talking about. The same guy that's willing to save and help anybody that's in trouble that needs it, no matter what. As for how he joins Rias' peerage in the early half of this series, well, you're just gonna have to wait and see. So yeah, any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to get to date my videos when I upload on the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my main channel, my other channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leo Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care.